Everyone, welcome back. It's Brian. I just spoke for like about 10 minutes and realized at the end of it I hadn't pressed the record button. So I'm going to have to do that all again. Um, so welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I think mostly gentlemen. Judging by the stats that YouTube provides, I'm under the impression that most of the viewers here are women, and that's, I gather, probably true of most channels, although I have seen some channels by women in the vinyl community. I think we need more women to make videos. So today I'm going to do a video response to a vinyl tag that was started by Alan at Static Traveler. If you haven't been to his channel, I suggest you check it out. It's perhaps the most unusual channel I've seen. I struggled to find the correct word for it. I thought it was irreverent. I'm not sure that's quite right. It's interesting, unusual, anomalous. If you like puppets, maybe it's a place for you to go. Interesting channel. I have watched several videos there. I subscribed a couple of weeks ago, and it's, perhaps I'll just say, unusual, and if you don't know it, you should check it out. His tag is called A Matter of Life and Death, and I think it's kind of appropriate considering what's happening in the Ukraine. Didn't really want this to be a political channel. I don't think it is, and I probably won't really talk about politics, except I will say that I find what's happening there really distressing. We'll leave it at that and move on with this interesting tag, A Matter of Life and Death. So there are 12 questions in which we're to provide answers using a record. So the first is to show a record related to procreation or birth. And the one that leaped immediately to mind is the soundtrack to She's Having a Baby, a movie I am fairly certain I saw on video after it was released. So this record contains a bunch of songs related to, romance, childbirth, parenting. For those who don't know, we have She's Having a Baby by Dave Wakeling, Haunted When the Minutes Drag, that's a fantastic song by Love and Rockets, Desire, Gene Love Jezebel, Happy Families by XTC, Crazy Love by Brian Ferry. Let's see, You Just Haven't Earned It Yet, Baby, that's the cover of the Smiths track by Kirsty MacColl. Apron Strings, obviously about motherhood, that's Everything But the Girl. This Woman's Work by Kate Bush, which I think is often regarded as a song about becoming a mother and becoming parents, in fact. It's All in the Game, performed by Camel. Camel? I actually don't remember this song. I don't know what, I'll have to look it up. Carmel. I have to look what that is. And Full of Love by Dr. Calculus. I don't remember that song either, but this obviously is about birth, procreation, love, parenting, and I think it's not a bad soundtrack. Number 2, show a record that reminds you of school. It could have been a lot. It could have been, but I chose the Ramones, End of the Century, because it contains Rock and Roll High School, which I think is a good song about school. This is my original press from the time. Believe it or not, this record has only been played maybe 3 times. I used to buy records and make a cassette tape copy of them and listen to the cassette. So this is one of those records I listened to on cassette pretty much all the time. And then I think I have the CD. But I listened to this not so long ago, and it sounds amazing. It's obviously a song about school. Reminds me of school. Show a record that makes you think. Show a record that has something to do with work. A couple things came to mind, but I decided to go with a rather upbeat song from Bow Wow Wow called, I have to look at the label because I'll get the title wrong. It's called Work, that's W.O.R.K. No, nah, no, daddy, don't. It's on this side. I think the first one I thought about when I was thinking about work. One other one came to mind, but I decided to go with this. And I think this is from, if I'm not wrong, it's from my cassette Pet. I think this is my especially remixed disco version. I like this band. It's very interesting. Show a record that makes you think of family. Okay, that's an easy one. I think I mentioned before my dad had a console stereo system. You open the lid, there's a turntable set in there, the radio stereo system in it, and his had a 8-track player. And my dad loved nothing better than to get up on Sunday morning and to put a track in and let it go all day. So that's why I know every ABBA song from start to finish, more than I would care to. But one record that he loved, perhaps even more than ABBA, was Fleetwood Mac, Rumours. So whenever I hear this, I think of my dad. He passed away several years ago, because he would play this round and round and round. And you would think that I would get sick of it or that I would hate it, because my relationship with ABBA is sort of like that. I'm not a big ABBA fan. I think I heard it too much. I heard it in the car. But for some reason, this record, I don't know, it didn't have that effect on me. I guess some people argue that this record's about divorce, or partly about divorce. I'm not sure if that's true, but this definitely reminds me of family. Even my mom would be sitting around. We all knew the lyrics. And it's a pretty obviously famous record. This is a Canadian pressing, I think, from 1977. It's still in good shape. I got it at a thrift shop, believe it or not. Okay, show a record which is about or related to money. Okay, that's the very first one that came to mind is Paid in Full, Eric B. and Rakim. Obviously, the cover has lots of representations of money, gold chains, money in the hands, and I guess the most famous track from this record is Paid in Full, so that's obviously about money. This also is the original pressing from on 4th and Broadway when it came out. So I can't see the date. I can't remember. 87, is that right? 87. So 87, Paid in Full. Definitely about money. Show a record which is related to the passing of time. This is Time Passages by Al Stewart. I don't actually know this record very well. I've had it for quite a long time, but I think I've only listened to it once. But it immediately came to mind, partly because of the title track, Time Passages, but there's also A Man for All Seasons, which seems to be about the passing of time, Timeless Skies, End of the Day. So there seem to be a lot of tracks on this about time, and I guess my job now is maybe to listen to this, because I haven't heard it in a long time. I'm more familiar with Year of the Cat, as I think everyone is, but I will probably need to listen to that one, but I think that fits the tag. Show a record which shows or is about food and drink. So this record from Godley and Creme, called Ism was released in the States under the title Snack Attack. And if you know that song, you will start laughing now because it's hilarious. That's on here, Snack Attack. I would suggest you actually press pause right now, go to another YouTube window, and look up the video for Snack Attack by Godley and Creme. It's really enjoyable and hilarious. Look up the lyrics too, because you might want to follow along. Fantastic. I love that song. I mean, there's other things that came to mind. Obviously, there's a Meatloaf record with Meatloaf on it. I don't have that, but there's other ones. But this one was the one that occurred to me first. Show a record which shows or is about pastimes and recreation. So I guess there could have been a number of things. I just chose John Fogerty's Centerfield, another thrift store find years ago. Obviously, there's a track on here called Centerfield, which is about baseball, which, is probably a good pastime. Centerfield, John Fogerty from CCR. Show a record which makes you happy. That's pretty much all the records I have, except maybe the really depressing ones, but they all make me happy. Having records makes me happy, but I guess one that I always come to, especially in summer, and it's a kind of a go-to summer record, and it's one that you can find really cheaply. If you go into a record store and this is there, it's going to be definitely under $10, probably under $8. And it is Haircut 100, Pelican West. This is such a happy record. Every song makes me think of summer. It's just something you want to put on and sit by the pool. I mean, apart from the obvious one, Love Plus One, which is the first single that got a lot of play. Favorite Shirt, Lemon Fire Brigade. I mean, there's so many. Fantastic Day. Every song on this record is fantastic. They did one other record after Nick Hayward left, unfortunately, and it wasn't. I don't know if I've heard it. I don't think it was very good, but this is just amazing. Cheap record. You can find it anywhere. It's I guess you'd call it new wave. I'm not sure if it's new wave, but this is incredible, and you can find it very cheaply. It always makes me happy. I have the CD, and that's a summer driving CD as well. Perfect. So, Haircut 100. Show a record with a work of art on the cover. Okay, so I went with John Cale, The Academy in Peril. This is the original promo with the die cut, created by Andy Warhol. If you know the story, you know that Andy Warhol created this cover in black and white, and John Cale changed it to color. That sentiment or that idea comes up again in Songs for Drella, the Lou Reed John Cale record, in the song called "The Dream," I Dream, I think. So this is the original promo one, and then they just released them without this fold over, and I think the new pressings for Men with Beards, those kind of pressings, reverted to the cutout, but it didn't make it. I don't think it made it to the original pressing. So there's some liner notes on this part, and the pictures are all of John Cale. I guess you call this a Unipack because it opens this way. I think a Unipack was a Canadian invention, and I do have the original promo sticker, which for some reason is stuck inside here, but it's definitely there. So, work of art on the cover. John Cale, one of my favorite artists. Next, show a record that you would like played at your funeral. Okay, a couple things came to mind, and I should first say that I'm not a religious person. I don't understand religion. I'm not angry about religion, but it isn't for me. If it's for you, that's fine. I would support that, and I would support anyone's right to religion. It just doesn't work for me. On the other hand, though, when I think of songs that I'd like to be played at my funeral, this is one that immediately came to mind. It's from Bruce Cockburn, a Canadian folk singer. This is a record called Joy Will Find a Way, and there are two songs here especially. One's called Joy Will Find a Way, a song about dying, and Arrows of Light, which I think if anyone heard would think these were both very spiritual songs. Maybe they are. Another one that occurred to me was Leonard Cohen's If It Be Your Will, but I went with this one. This is I'm a big fan of Bruce Cockburn. I think I have everything he released. One day I might do a ranking video of Bruce Cockburn records. I think he's really good. He's still making music. He's touring, or he's doing some performances right now online. I think a tour is coming. I think he's fantastic. He's made a lot of excellent music. I think 25 records, studio records, and then a number of live records and some compilations. So really excellent. So the last question is: show a record you think sums up the meaning of life. I mean, a couple of things occurred to me. I was thinking of the Rolling Stones. You can't always get what you want, but I think that's more about the reality of life, that you can't always get what you want. Another is George Harrison's All Things Must Pass. But again, I think that's about the realities of existence, not really the meaning of life. So I actually think when you think about that question, it's like, why are we here? What are we doing on this planet? And the only thing I can think of is Good Times Roll from the Cars. Let the good times roll. Because after all, we're here for fun. There's a number of songs. I thought another one that occurred to me was now it slipped my mind. I'll think of it at the end. So yeah, why are we here? Oh yeah, Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll, Ian Dury. I'm not sure if that's exactly why we're here, but it's sort of the same sentiment. You have fun. It's not going to last forever. As you get older, you realize that. So that's it. 12 questions for Alan, as Static Traveler, about a matter of life and death. Thanks again for watching, and take care. Bye.